What is up, Hot Makers? Welcome to Hot Makes right here on Hot Makes. I'm Nerdy J. This is the Pooch. How you doing, Pooch? No, nothing? Did you have a good week? No? Oh, okay. Well, you're kind of off to a rocky start here, Pooch. I'm not sure what we should do. I think we should bring in maybe Angus. Angus, do you know what's happening here?
I'm not sure. He seems to be a bit quiet today, eh?
I'm not sure, man. I don't know. Hey, we'll come back to you, Pooch.
Yeah.
How you doing, Angus?
He's having a rough start.
Yeah, rough start.
I'm good. How are you?
This is Angus. I'm doing great. It is 6 p.m. my time. It's 9 a.m. your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Shocking. So early.
It's so early. Okay, I gotta ask, what time does an Angus usually get up on a Tuesday morning? Or is it morning at all?
Nah, it varies. 9's probably the limit, but maybe up to 10, maybe sometimes 11, depending on how late I've been. Because like when you work for yourself, you kind of lose track of schedules and norms. I work better at night. It's just one of those things.
Hey,
but I got my breakfast juice. I'm good.
Nice. Hey, speaking of what are you drinking there?
Actually, it's a new one. It's Ultra Fiesta Monster. It's actually all right. Mango-ish.
Ultra Fiesta. Well, I was drinking the coffee. I made a coffee and I drank that. Now I'm drinking the water, the sparkling water. Let us know in the chat, what are you drinking on this fine night, evening, day, whatever time it is by you. And everybody, welcome Angus. He's going to be here this week and next week with us. And we're going to have a party. Yeah. We're going to have a blast. I saw Pooch in the chat. It's funny. He couldn't be on the show, but he's in the chat, which matters, right? No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just joking. Pooch, how do you feel about that? No? Nothing? Oh, come on.
We'll get him to talk later.
Yeah, maybe we'll take some questions for Pooch later. If you guys haven't seen the Poo Truck, we'll have it on the show later. We'll get some links going on. But after, the last week's show, it was amazingly fast how fast the Poo Truck came out. So you never know what we're going to pull with the Poo Truck. But other than that, Angus, welcome to the show. We got to clear up a couple things real quick. Number one, thank you so much for sponsoring the show tonight and pretty much every night. We have a $50 gift card to Amazon, courtesy of Things, that we're going to be giving away later. So stick around for that. Don't forget to click the link in the description. Otherwise, it should be rolling in the chat. I believe Nightbot will be pushing the link, but you have to be registered to win. Astro Printer says Pooch is having withdrawal.
He's got to be part of it still.
You never know. Like this thing's going to grow. Maybe it'll become animatronic at some point. And then it'll be, it'll come walking in or something. That'd be awesome.
We need another robot on the show. We're good.
Touche. Maybe you could control it, Geary. That would be even creepier. All of a sudden,
physical form.
Yeah, Geary's
what
spirit.
Is my purpose?
Yeah.
I passed the butter.
So good. Oh man, I wish Chep was in the chat. He might join. You never know. But anyways, what have you been up to? I know we haven't talked in probably a couple months now, and I reached out and said, hey, this is what's going on. You want to jump on? And you were like super pumped. You were in. So how you been? What's going on?
Yeah, we're all right. Like we're sort of locked down, but also it doesn't change too much. So we've just been at home, and I'm like, what can I do projects with what I have on hand? So like I'm revisiting, like Popeye's got a new puzzle coming, working on stuff for him. Been like all the music rack stuff you guys might have seen in the recent videos. I've been like compiling all that. It's been good. Been focusing on some more sort of other hobbies as well.
Nice. How is Popeye? He's still making his rounds like he normally does?
Yeah, he always surprises me because like I tried the new puzzle with him and like he gets scared off by the other cockatoos. But then the other cockatoos wouldn't touch it. They just like don't care. They're like, give me food in my hand. Who do you think I am? But then he came back later and went straight for it. Like he knows that's food. Nice. So it's like he's a clever bird. So he hasn't solved it yet. No spoilers, but that's going to be a good one.
Oh man, I can't wait to see it. So, talking about spoilers, you had an awesome video a couple days ago. I think it was received really well in our community.
Yeah, it was fun to make.
Yeah, you don't get to make those very often, right?
No, and it was a long time coming. Like there was clips in that video that they dated back to 2017. Some of them, that had just been boiling over, and I was like, okay, maybe this is an isolated case. Maybe this is an isolated case, and then it became evident that it's not, and it's getting worse. So, I guess for those people who don't know in the chat, it's commentary on some of the behaviors some companies do behind the scenes to reviewers. Not all companies, because I had to stress that there's some great companies out there that we've worked with. But yeah, some of them a bit more dodgy, and I had to call it out.
I'm with you there. I would have to say, like, in my limited experience, you've been around a lot longer and obviously a much larger scale. But I'd have to say like 95% or 98% are good. And then you just have those like 5 or 3 or 5% or whatever I just said that are just like, no, we don't like that. You're going to do this, or like, I won't point any fingers. This one. And here's a re-edited video. Please upload this. You're like, no, it's not how it works.
And that's because they're treating you like marketing, not like a proper review, which should be like all the pros and cons, because nothing's perfect.
And I think the companies that accept that and build on it actually do much better in the world, or in our community, because the community sees it. I mean, whether they know that or not, the community sees it, and they don't. I think the community is very smart about going. And let us know in the chat how you feel. But the community is very smart about knowing about a garbage company, and they'll call them out pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah. And again, that's another reason I didn't name any names, because it's easy to call one thing out, but it's a more spread issue. But yeah, it's hopefully we can change it and see everything change for the better.
That would be awesome. And if you haven't seen his video, check out Maker's Muse on YouTube. You have to see it. It was great, along with all the ones before. So I'm digging the robot with the crazy wheels. I just love how many different varieties. Yes. I mean, we got some fun stuff in HotMakes, and we'll get to HotMakes pretty quick here. But I absolutely love seeing the different wheels you're trying, and I think people are sending them to you, right?
I got like over 50 submissions. I had to close the form, because each set of wheels takes some of them take 24 hours to print for all of them, and I can't test that many, especially at the moment. But some of them are so you haven't seen nothing yet. Some of them are so wacky. I don't know how these people dreamt up them. And the platform has so much torque now that it's just going to rip it. It's going to rip the wheels apart if it encounters too much resistance at this point.
Well, that with your new gears, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. I think we're early and we have a bunch of HotMakes. I think we should jump into those, and then we'll come back.
Let's check them out
and have a little fun. But let me get hot. I think we're set, ladies and gentlemen. Our very first HotMakes with Angus as the guest host. Let's do it. Here's some HotMakes.
Let's do it, man.
No, I said Angus. Angus. Okay, there. Oh man, this is too much fun. I am going to have so much fun, and that's the first thing on our list here. So, Big Jano, as we call him, he printed out. He was the first one that I know that printed the Poo Truck, and it is just an amazing, funny model that came out. He did a live stream, I believe it was on Twitch, and he was printing this, and we talked a little bit, but this was like late, right after the show last week. It was so fast. But this is his first Poo Truck here. It as you can see, a little bit smaller. I did 300% in the one we did here in the studio. But it is amazing.
That's a representation of the 3D printing community as a whole. Taking this joke and then just, oh no, we need to now use high-tech 3D modeling software and printers to make this thing into a real thing.
I was going to say the same thing. And how fast the community does it. I mean, we had that joke on towards the end of last week's show, and he's in the chat. You can let us know, but he had that so fast. It was done. Builder's Mark actually created the thing, but it was done so fast that Big Jano jumped on it, and yeah, I think Builder's Mark's with us too. There it is.
Awesome.
But yeah, I love the model. It's so much fun. If you have not printed the Poo Truck, Geary, can you get the link for the Poo Truck and drop it in our chat today? Let me think. He has it on Twitter.
Yeah, working on it.
Perfect. And he did this at 2.0 because he had to change the nose. Like the original version, if you're lucky, the nose was backwards. I think the nose was backwards. So
there's a 2.0.
Those revisions.
Yeah, there's revisions.
There's revisions. Well, and if you take a closer look, let's see. If you take a closer look at our pooch here, you can tell he did his lipstick for us. We wanted to make sure we got the marker right. That Chep had.
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny. Whoa, what's happening?
Oh,
we're playing. All right, go ahead. There you go. I'm
clicking buttons at the same time I am.
Yeah. Geary's clicking buttons. I'm clicking them. We've programmed them. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun. Builder's Mark, thank you so much. And Angus, you said it. You took the words out of my mouth. It's so fastly done, and not only that, but it represents the community. Like, it's such a funny thing. You took a rock and you made a rock out of plastic.
And that's the thing about like the whole community. When we get inspired to do things, like you'll just smash it out. Any sort of project, like it just happens like this. I love it. So good.
Brian Vines. So was that design set in stone? No. So good, Brian. So Darryl, nice work here off Earth. He's going to weather and battle damage the Iron Man Mark 42 helmet. But I tell you what, this was the pictures before the weathering and damaging, and such a phenomenal maker for one. But this helmet is done fantastically. What do you think? You do a lot more props and stuff. So how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, when I was doing my industrial design degree, so much of it was just finishing to make things look good. And like the amount of sanding and finishing, priming, sanding that goes into making something this smooth is astronomical. Like you think, I just print it, paint it. Nah, there's like a week of sanding and priming in that. It's to get it that, and to make it look metallic as well and so clean. That's just absolutely phenomenal. And it's so thin and detailed as well. I couldn't do that personally. I don't have the patience.
You saw my skills on the face of the Poo Truck. That's about all I got.
Yeah.
So if you want to,
this is next level.
Figure, this is phenomenal. Nice work, Darryl. I can't wait. If I think it's already out there, but if tag HotMakes, #HotMakes in the one that's battle damage, we'll show it next week. I can't wait to see that.
That's cool.
What do we got next? 3D Print Bunny. She is out on your side of the world there. And
is she? Awesome. I didn't know that.
She does some. She might be with us. I'm not sure if she's. I haven't seen her, but I haven't been paying real close attention to the chat today.
Pretty sure she's in the chat.
Yeah. And I believe she's out by you. 3D Print Bunny, let us know where you are. I'm pretty sure it was Australia area, and I could be wrong about that. But her and her daughter, very, very talented. But I don't know if you've seen this. She made a print in place tensegrity table, and this is like cool. Another iteration. It's holding a glass on top of it, and it's all it is bridging from the filament, holding everything together.
Like I saw her experiments with bridging before, so this is obviously like the evolution of that.
Yes.
And so the filament's in tension. The filament's stopping it from ripping apart, basically.
Yeah.
Those 3 or 4 strands.
Yep. There you go.
She's in Australia. Awesome. Another Aussie.
Yeah. Yeah. And
sure.
I printed the first version. So I haven't printed this one yet. I need to do that. But it's just so cool how it all works. Just be careful. I broke 3 of them so far now. And it's a pretty quick, like hour and 45-minute print. But I'm too rough with them, I think. I get them off the bed, and I'm like, ooh, what can it hold? And then it breaks because the points here are a little bit weaker for me.
Gotcha.
But she could probably tell me how to fix that. But I haven't printed this one yet, but what I think is really cool is like I don't know if you remember, like what is it, 8 months ago, the tensegrity tables were huge. Everyone was making them, right? And
I was like having to find mine the other day. It still hasn't broken yet. But that's awesome. Like braid, so that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, to make it all in one go.
Yeah, exactly. And the thought to have the bridging actually hold it together, I would have never thought of that. Such a phenomenal print. Now she was doing the vases as well. I don't know if you saw the bridging vases.
I did. Yeah, that's what I saw before. Yeah.
Those are awesome. I have a few of those. Actually, I have a DNA one up behind me, but that's what I call it. It's like a twist. But nice work, 3D Print Bunny.
I think depending on the filament you use, you can make it stronger. So like that looks like the pearlescent sort of PLAs, I guess. Which, if it is, they tend to be stronger, I find, than just regular PLAs. Just a little bit.
I'll have to try that. I'm trying to remember what I tried it probably on just random PLA that I had.
a nylon one would be almost indestructible, probably.
That would be awesome. Hey, that's a good. Anyway, I might have to try that for next week. That would require me drying some nylon, though. It's been out for a minute.
I got Devin in the chat as well saying a semi-flex would be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good call, Devin. Devin will be with us, what is it, the 16th, the week, not next week because you're with us, the week after that.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be a lot of fun. So, nice work, 3D Print Bunny, and her daughter does some phenomenal stuff as well. So check them out on Twitter. Everything we're showing, you can find in the link in the description below the video. There's a Google Doc, and if you go to episodes, what are we on now? What are we on? 66. Holy moly, we're on episode 66. Find that. It's at the bottom of the Google Doc, and you'll see everything we're showing and more. Can you believe that? 66 episodes. Holy moly.
Congrats. That's huge.
So I found this. This was tagged, and Proximity Studios is what it's called at Proximity Social. It's a 3D printer, a 3D printed orbiter. Let's see if I can check that out.
Oh, wow.
You crank it there.
And they move up and down while spinning. That's a neat mechanism.
That's really cool. So I
want to see inside it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you create these, awesome mechanisms on your channel. What do you think the powers that be are inside of this? I mean, you can kind of see some gears in there. I mean, if you were going to do this,
it's like a cam sort of thing, moving them up and down. But in terms of how the gears are staying meshed, I assume there's like some sort of bevel gear thing. Maybe like a sort of spherical gear. I'm not too sure.
So it kind of reminds me of like a carousel, where the animals go up and down inside of there, but that isn't driven by gears like that, I don't think. That's awesome.
No.
If anyone knows this person, Proximity Studios, hit them up and tell them we want to see the inside if they'll let us see it.
The secrets. Yeah, because it's probably like a stationary post with something that's they're mating to. But to get the clearances and everything right for that would be really difficult as well, even at that scale.
Sarah Johnson said it perfect. If I have this, I would sit and play with this thing all day. It would be like
I'd motorize it. I'd just have it sitting there just constantly going.
Oh, next video, do it. No. Pretty unique. There we go. Pretty unique automation. Yes, for sure. Nice work on that one. If anyone knows this person, tag them. Let them know they were in the show and tell them we want to see some more, because I would love to see a little bit more about this. Because you can put really anything on the outside of it, any animals, or you could do birds, you could do planes, rocket ships. Like
you could extend them out even further as well, depending how strong it is. So it'd be like this wave coming out of it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Nice work. All right, what do we got now? Oh, this one, Loyal Moses in the house.
Yeah.
Have you seen his? He said production mode activated. Have you seen this yet?
No.
So This is this is phenomenal on a Prusa Mini.
Oh yeah, I've seen this print removal method.
The brute force.
That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on their beds.
Good.
It's so viable. Yeah.
And this post got so many fun comments. Like he says, on to the next. No humans needed. And it's just like if you have a there you go. Chris over there. But if you have a time, jump onto this post if you haven't already seen it yet out there, and just read through the comments because they're phenomenal. It's a good like 5-minute, 10-minute read.
I think a few years ago, someone had like a fist that was just like punching them. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It was like one of those boxing gloves on a spring, like old cartoons.
Yes.
Just punch the prince off.
Oh, that's so good. Nice work, Loyal Moses. We want to see the fist next time. Just like so good.
A little bit less elegant, but definitely more entertaining.
Yeah, and a little bit. I would have to say this is a little bit less complicated than the one Tom just put out with his Voron.
Tom's one is next level. Like,
yes,
I still need to watch that video again to fully understand the clamping mechanism.
Right.
Like, he's got this thing, he pushes it and it raises up. I need to like get my head around that.
Yeah, and it drops the magnet down on there, and then it pops to release it and pushes it.
Yeah.
If you have not seen that, check out Tom Stenlander's video. It's so good, and he does the Voron. Speaking of Vorons, I know we had a question. Are you doing one?
I haven't got one planned, but that's just mostly because I've got all this other stuff queued up. It's not that I wouldn't want to make one because they just look freaking awesome. It's more the fact that like the time involved to build a printer is quite involved.
Especially that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, they look sick though. There's no. I'm not like not building it because I think they're not good. They look amazing.
And it's super. Like he was showing those in Tom's video. He said like all the parts were less than 24 hours of printing, and all those parts that he printed is like. I mean, we actually have some some avid Voron builders in the chat, and they are awesome.
It's
Very
funny
cool.
seeing printers return to a belted Z-axis though, because like the first printers I used to work with were like the up 2s from Tier Time, and they had a belted Z-axis, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's such a terrible idea," but actually it wasn't that bad as long as you kept the motor powered. It was pretty accurate. And now we're going back to a belted Z.
That's what the what was it? The new Lulspot uses, or the Lulspots use, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I have the 747 coming, one of the new ones, and I can't wait to play with it. But I've been watching like Steve and the Lightspeed, and Greg has one, and a couple other people, and they created a group. So I've been watching, and just how fast that thing is to move the Z, it is phenomenal.
It's a huge benefit, and like back in the day, you turn the machine off and the whole thing would crash, which is obviously bad. but now you got the motor regen stuff, so like you can just make it sort of better, not crash.
Hey, it's another way to remove your print. Just turn the motor off after
the glass just explodes.
I'm just envisioning like Lego when it hits the ground and it just blows up everywhere.
Hey, that probably would work. Yeah.
So good. All right, what do we got next? Oh, do you know Willow? I think we talked about Willow maybe last time.
I do know Willow very well, yeah.
She is absolutely phenomenal. We had her on a while back, and this was one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time. So she's making these 3D printed pieces, embossing wood texture on them. Oh, it's EVA foam. I'm sorry. But she printed this roller, I think, and then she's embossing wood texture on EVA foam. And the way she does it, she heats it up, and then she grabs her 3D printed. Look at that.
That's freaking cool.
I mean, that's genius.
Yeah, and this is what's really interesting with 3D printing. Like, it brings all these different like skill sets together. So hers was like prop making. But then she looks at 3D printing tools to be like, okay, how can I use it for this sort of really specific type of prop making, like costumes? Right. And she does stuff like this. Like, I think that's etched, is it? That bit?
This one, yeah, I think so. Yeah, with their laser,
which
think.
Again is just super cool, like using a cheap laser cutter to etch EVA.
Oh boy, we're getting the chat going with that one. No, I absolutely agree. And what was really cool about this is she had to design the pattern for that roller to make it look like whatever pattern she wanted to roll out in the whole push, right? So it couldn't just be like let's see if she shows it here. It couldn't just be like one solid line or something. There we go. We can kind of see it there, right? Everything is unique. It has wider and smaller gaps, and I love how she does all of her stuff. But I saw this, and this was so cool.
I mean, it's like a scaled up version of the icing rollers, isn't it? The ones that leave little patterns. There
you go. That's a great analogy. And what I like, the part we're seeing right now, she had to do 3 rolls on it. Right. And because she started at different points in the roller, they're different all the way across.
It looks so good.
It's awesome. Nice work, Willow. You keep blowing us away every time. We're gonna have to have her on again and have some fun with that, because I've never seen a technique like that.
Nah, that's sweet. EVA is so cheap, like, to find creative new ways to use it. Awesome. Right.
Nice work. All right, what do we got next here? Someone tagged us and I had to. It's funny. Some wholesome vandals improved our downtown tunnel, and I can't stop giggling. So basically, they added a banner and some googly eyes to a tunnel. Oh man,
those are some huge googly eyes too. Like, where do you buy that?
They got like a 3-foot diameter or something. Oh, so good. Hey, what do you? I would say that rocks. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
He could use some googly eyes.
Yeah. Hey, should we do Yeah, we should. We should do some googly eyes. Googly pooch. Hashtag googly pooch. You heard it here. That's awesome. So yeah, nice work there. Ritual cast. That's awesome. Oh, that made me laugh. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We had Mitch on in the early July, and a couple people actually reached out to make sure I got this on the show. But this was a 3D printer that prints upside down on purpose. We did, we saw the Delta that Jim Carter flipped upside down at Murph, but this was actually a printer that was designed, and I'm going to kind of go through it a little bit, to print upside down. So let's see, because this is a long video, 12-minute video.
He explains it really well, though.
Yeah, he does. There we go. So yeah, that's so cool to see, though. Good point. There you go.
Yeah, nice.
It's really cool. Wild. What do you think about the innovation we're seeing, in stuff like this?
Well, I mean, the fact it's printing upside down is almost like not even the biggest thing about this printer. It's just he's like, for space reasons, it made more sense to have the rigid stuff at the bottom, which is all the moving axes. All the stuff that would be floppy, and then have the more rigid stuff, just the bed above it, which is why it's upside down. He's not printing upside down for like any other benefit. It's just to keep the space of the whole frame down and make it more stable. And then because I did some experiments ages ago as well, and there's no real change to FDM printing when you print in different orientations. Unless you're doing like big strings or overhangs, the cooling is really what changes the print quality. So like a 45-degree overhang will look pretty much the same if it's upside down or not.
I thought he had while you were talking, I was looking, I'm pretty sure, there we go. He had some fun mess here too.
Yeah. The first thing I thought of was, well, if you're upside down and the print adhesion's not good, it's going to fall away. But then if you're printing normally and the print adhesion's not good, it's going to fall away. It just slides off. So it's almost better if you have the print just sort of fall off to the side, and maybe have like a little light gate or something to tell you the print's fallen off.
A monitor, like the spaghetti detective work upside down. I don't even know,
It probably would.
I'm sure it would. But what I would be concerned about is, say a part of it starts drooping, and your hot end comes and grabs that, and now everything's sitting on the hot end, and it's still going, and it pulls it all off. But normally you have when you have a failure and your hot end gets globbed up, it's just kind of hanging, right? Well, in this case, it would like melt down into your hot end, wouldn't it?
Sure, yeah. And like, especially in this case, he's got this custom designed hot end, which is in itself amazing. That would be disastrous if it sort of melted. Because you know how PLA, when it gets melted, it's like almost a liquid. It would just get everywhere.
Oh man, that does not sound fun. And let's see. Oh, the Iris.
Such a good box. That box is like 7 years old now or something. I remember when it first came out, it was just mad. No one had done anything like that.
Oh, you mean like Flexi Dragon or whatever? What was the first one? Flexi Alligator or something like that?
Everybody did the Flexies little like forever. Peggy the Peg one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got to tell you, I love that Iris, but the one I found that I like the best, and it has a little less failure rate, is there's a remix of it to open up the gaps just a little bit, and then nice. That one prints on the test machines a little better.
yeah, it's always really disheartening when you print a print in place model and you're like, and it just breaks.
Right.
As a designer of those models, though, like I kind of deserve that when that happens.
Hey, I tell you, I still use your test with all the tolerances, a tolerance test that you put out.
Yeah.
I bought that, a while ago, a long time ago, and then I still use that. Like, I'm going to throw it on here. So since then, we had the Torture Toaster come out, and that one's been a lot of fun to print. And we haven't talked a lot about it because we toastered out, I think, the community for a little while. But I still see them. People are still tagging them out there, and that's pretty fun. But
that's cool. Yeah, I love those little models. They're good tests
for sure. Clock Spring. He's the genius.
I would imagine how many, probably not too many now, but when he was sort of starting to do those printed place models, how many iterations he would go through.
Well, and like this model, hey Geary, there you go. So this was a print in place model, and it printed like this, and then it's like chain mail inside.
Yeah, that's mad.
And so when you get it out, it's a basket. So you can take whatever you want and just throw it in there, and it'll hold it. And then there's little legs that go on it, but. A friend of mine, Trent, actually designed this. He looked at chainmail and he said, I could do that. And he made this basket. And it's stuff like this, like we talked about earlier, that makes our community just awesome.
Yeah. And like the whole chainmail idea, like that's from a while ago. And then everyone's like, oh, okay, that's possible. Then maybe this is possible. And like everything builds on everyone else's experiments.
Yeah, like Willow doing the actual resin chainmail. That I saw that and I was just like, come on.
Yeah. And like everyone's like, that's not gonna work. And she's like, I did it. I'm like, oh
yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
It's so good. All right, what do we got next here? Oh, this is Alex over at Finally Functional. He's with us in chat as well. So a little backstory, Alex is building VR shoes. So you can actually like walk or run or jump. And he's been doing this for a couple years now, a bunch of different prototypes, iterations, that kind of thing. And this is his latest one. And I just got my first question when I play this is, have you ever tested a model like this? And I'll show you in a second. And my second question is, would you? So this is the VR shoes here. He's just showing what they look like currently. It's like a sandal. He just throws them. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's brave, because that's wheels. I would crash and burn.
Sure, it takes a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure. And he's tethered in, to a ceiling there. But what's really cool is he can like walk and run and jump, and he developed this himself, and he's using an Oculus Quest, I believe, headset. So it's all wireless. So good. Cool. So this is it's just, oh man, I'm going to take my working prototype and just,
It's pretty funny actually. Like, the like the torture, like lattice cube, like so that those sort of prints, like because I've done a lot of them for testing. Sometimes I'll just grab one and just like hurl it at the ground. And like to be fair, the PLA ones usually explode, but sometimes they don't break. I don't know I think this is like the weakest model you could print, but there must just be some geometries that just sort of are stronger than you expect. So like, yeah, if a filament's got a bit of flex to it, like, yeah, you can definitely throw it around.
Well, and like he said, they're TPU reinforced with metal rods, which is
That's
awesome.
very strong.
It's so brave. Like, you know, it's so confident. That's a better word, to take a product that or prototype that you designed and like test it like that. Like, you know, I'm gonna take this Pooch rock and just throw it up in the air. I guarantee it chips. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most likely. Have you ever printed in polypropylene?
I haven't.
So that's a filament where you can literally take any print and just throw it at a wall, like as hard as you want, and just goes bounces off. It's fine. Yeah, it's mad.
We need to try this now. Here is chat. We need a Poo Truck next week in polypropylene.
Yeah, print it hollow polypro, and it'll just be indestructible.
Let's see the bouncing. It'll be like the words on the bottom of karaoke or whatever. It's like the wing.
Yeah, it just roll it down a hill, just bouncing around.
So good, nice work, Alex. It's Repcord says I've been wearing mine all along. How embarrassing! And that's a basket. Yeah. So so good. How do you feel about that, Pooch? Okay.
Like how his hair's just sort of moving a little bit.
It's just blowing in the wind. Well, he just wanted
breeze.
to make sure he had his bows in his hair.
It's very pretty.
And this does not actually show how tall his hair really is. It's I mean, it's up there. I wanted to make sure I got the right Pooch do, you know, for the shot. But
how did you reach into Pooch's camera?
Well, he's sitting next to me.
Through a portal.
Yeah, you know that trick where we hand stuff each other through the camera? Watch this. Oh, mind blown. No. We're having too much fun. This is going to be like another water and Oreo thing. All right, here we go. Next thing we got up. This was Darryl the Broken Nerd. Last week we featured his, I believe it was renders of this model. It was the bust of Rhino. And this week we actually get to see it. So that's
so much texture.
Yes.
Just there's not just like coming from like designing just cubey things. This is just, I don't understand how someone can have this level of talent.
And his models, all of his stuff is phenomenal. But you know, last week we actually zoomed in on the renders, and you could see that texture, not printed yet. But this just shows how cool it is when it's resin printed. It looks so good.
Like, that is the killer app for resin. Like, before this sort of thing was possible, how would you do that? Like, sculpt it in by hand, basically?
Yeah, clay, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. I mean, nice work. Friend of the show, and we had him on recently, and just I can't. All of his stuff is super cool. I hope he does. I don't know if he's doing it with the models like this, but I don't know if he was doing blueprints. I don't know if you saw that with some of his bigger stuff. He's actually like doing like a print of a blueprint of each of the models. It was so cool.
I love that.
If we find a link, I'll bring that up for you. Geary, if you find one in the background, we'll show Angus what I'm talking about. But I thought that was such a cool thing to do, because not only you designed it for people to print, you know, then all of a sudden you designed this cool piece that you could print out to go with it. That shows.
That's so awesome. It's all part of the set, like all part of the experience.
Yeah, that's the perfect word for it, the experience. And so you're saying not so much doing something like this?
I just can't. Like, I can barely write my name legibly, let alone draw a picture. So when it comes to like drawing organic stuff in 3D, I've had a go. I can do push-pull, but then to make anything look like a real thing, usually it just ends up looking like an alien or something, because it looks so weird. But if you taught me to copy something, no, I will bow down to the experts.
I'm with you. How do you feel about sanding? Do you like sanding?
I hate it. Sanding's the worst. That's why you want printers that just print perfectly.
We can agree with that. It's like Pooch is sitting with me still. He was like, no sanding. I'm not. I'll leave it rough.
Like, again, like when I was at uni, we'd sand this stuff and we'd have like a spray putty, which had like this pink sort of finish. And you'd have a shower after the whole day, and like your nose would be full of pink dust. It's just the worst.
Oh, that does, yeah. Pink putty. I'm curious what that is. You say it's like a spray on?
So it's like in automotive where you're trying to fill like a crack. So you
like
do
Bondo.
like a bog. Yeah, but then there's like a spray can version of it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's cool. I didn't know there was a spray can version. I played with real Bondo, and I had the experience what you're talking about being totally pink, but not a spray can. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it's terrible for you, but it works really well.
All right. What do we got next? Mark Christensen. Someone tagged us on this, and I thought of you immediately when I saw this. So he did a video on 3D printing springs and then testing the cycles. And I had not seen this yet, and I'm just going to kind of go through this. He actually prints a connection so he can connect the springs in.
Yeah.
And then let me go forward. There you go. So he puts the water in the plastic in warm water.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, if that's PLA, it's going to snap. So, yeah, okay. So he's softened it.
Yep. And he tells you how to do different style springs, right?
Sweet. Yep.
And then if we go ahead here, he shows, there we go. He wrapped it, and then he melts, the ends. There you go.
Okay.
And then if we go ahead, there we go. There's your outcome.
That works so much better than I could have thought.
So then he created this machine.
That's like something CNC Kitchen would do.
Yeah.
So here's my testing machine. That's cool.
Yeah. So there you go.
Wow. So he's just constantly stressing them and seeing if they survive.
18,000 cycles on that one. So
That's
good.
Fine.
So I thought, in another possibility in our community, now they're taking the filament, and he actually goes through a couple different filaments in the video.
Cool.
But I mean, they're taking a filament and making live springs with it. I mean, the possibility now, once that gets out, the possibilities are endless with this.
Yeah. And it takes a bit of effort to make it. But the biggest issue I've had with designing mechanical things that people want to recreate is finding the hardware. Like, if you can just make the spring from the spool you're printing the thing with, that cuts out you finding a specific type of spring, which might almost be impossible depending where you are. So that's a really clever approach to it.
I didn't even think about that. And if, say, you're going for, maybe it's a cosplay piece, and you want it to be like completely printed or something, and you can even print the spring parts. Maybe, for instance, we'll take Iron Man where the mask comes up. Can you imagine if you could actually print those pieces, the springs that make it retract? And man, that would be that would be.
And I'd imagine quite a bit safer as well than trying to use metal springs that close to my eye. That just the thought of that scares me in a 3D print.
Yeah. Well, and then again, plastic, if that explodes.
Oh,
yeah.
But if he's doing it in a nylon one, I would trust that quite a lot. Actually, I'd expect it just to fail, gently. Although, unless it lets go. I'll need to do my own testing.
Yes. You saw it here. Soon we'll have a spring edition of the Maker's Muse. Hey, you can put a couple of your spring off. Now you could actually create for Popeye, like the doors and stuff. You could put springs on them that are printed. It wouldn't hurt them. Nice.
I was imagining a little bouncy platform for him now.
Yes, a trampoline. You could build a birdie
trampoline.
trampoline. I love it. Oh man! Now everybody's like, "How could I use this? It's so springy."
Yeah, that's why I love experiments like this. People just think, "Oh, that's an interesting concept. I'll do it with something else." Like, and it just propagates.
Right. Awesome work. What do we got next? Okay, so the last two that we have today are going to be very similar. So this one particular, AC Rogers, I believe, is with us. I think I saw him chatting earlier. At Drew Dog, he completed a chess set printed in Jesse PLA, Soul Black Glitter, and Sunlu Gold, and the board was printed in black, Jesse PLA Black and Quarter White, and Polymaker Polyterra. But very nice chessboard. I love the chess pieces. Have you done a chessboard before?
I have. It was one of my projects years ago. I had to do it in SolidWorks, which I did completely using surfaces and 3D sketches, and it was a pain in my butt. It's so hard to overstate. It's easy to unstate how hard it is to make all the pieces coherent. So, like, you know, they all look like they're from the same set, but they're all different. That design challenge in itself is really hard. So, like, he's done a really good job here.
Yeah, it's very good job. I love the color choice. I love the printed board. Very, very nice work. And that brings us to the second one. No surprise, 3D Print Bunny. Very similar, but Polyalchemy Lucid Pearl, eSun Silk Copper, and looks like Polyalchemy Polyterra Charcoal and Cotton White. But in her style, brings us back to the bridging, the pieces with the bridging, it looks like.
Yeah, as an aesthetic element.
Yeah, I love it. I love how she's using the bridging in all of her stuff. But this one has a carrying case.
Oh,
it's so good.
That's so good. Oh, so it's like a printing test in itself, but you end up with end results that you can use in a chess set. Like, it's because that would be difficult to print, some of those to get nice bridging
and a nice finish.
Yeah, and the peaks as well.
And the torture test of printing the board inlay that all the pieces actually fit in. You know?
Yeah.
Nice work.
That's so elegant though, and the colors are nice too. I like the choices.
Yeah, very good. I think a lot of times it's all about the colors people choose. You know, we have like Filament Frenzy. Phenomenal color choice, and everything he does is like perfectly highlighting each other with the different colors. And I'm just like, let's throw this together.
Bunny's saying it's easy to print, so I'll have to definitely try it out.
Oh, nice. I'm assuming maybe out there for her patrons, and hopefully, you know, we can get our hands on it to play with as well. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, that was our HotMakes. What'd you think? This is your first co-hosting HotMakes.
I mean, it's just such a cool range. Like, we've gone from costume props to like physical hardware props to ridiculous mechanisms to like gorgeous aesthetic chess sets. Like, there's and the VR headset stuff. Like,
yeah,
that's what I just every single day. Like, you don't get bored of this sort of sphere of like technology, because everyone comes into it doing something different. And like every year you think, oh, we've reached what we can do with FGM, and then like someone comes out with like the spring thing. It's like,
yeah, right. Oh man, or let's print upside down on a machine I made myself.
Yeah, which is like, and I just turn the whole mechanism 45 degrees because it's smaller and it makes the print volume larger. But it's just mad. I just love it.
So absolutely good. And 3D Print Bunny, she said it's free, I think. Easy to print and free, which is awesome. Thank you. So someone says we need to see if it holds. Michael Grugel, fix him, dude, says we need to see if the chess set can hold a full pooch. I think we should do that. Pooch, you got the print farm. Maybe you can fire this up, print it overnight, and maybe take a picture tomorrow for us to see if it holds the full pooch on there. That would be awesome. Challenge. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely love. We get such a wide range. Now there's a ton. We get a lot every week. We can't show them all. Tonight we showed, I think, 13. and we had quite a bit. So if you want to see more, there's a link in the description. It's a Google Doc. Go there and you'll see a bunch of stuff that was submitted. You can find it. All the links and everything are down there. So check that out. Don't forget, this is the last chance. We got about 8-9 minutes here of the show left. We want to make sure you get entered for that $50 Amazon gift card, courtesy of Thangs. Thangs 3D is with us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. We have looks like about 70-ish, 71 people entered right now. So make sure you get entered. You want to make sure you can win. It's Amazon. If there's Amazon that delivers to you, you can win. So check that out. So this might be a great time while we have some time left. We were talking a little bit about different things, and in your last video was a rant. Okay, so I said, Angus, Pooch, used to rant. I know you're not Pooch, but because your last video was a rant, how do you feel about doing a rant for us?
I think there's something I could rant about. Yes.
Well, we got something for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for an Angus rant.
I've never seen such a embarrassment.
All right, guys. This one, if you've been printing for a while, you'll know drives you up the wall. You stick some PLA in your printer, you run your print, you come back the next morning, the print's finished, but the PLA snapped. But you don't notice it snapped. So you just start your next print. And then it either stops printing because you walked away and you come back to printing in midair and you're like, all right, I'll just clear out and put some new filament in. But you can't put new filament in because it's snapped and it's gone past the feeder gear. So when you try to put new filament in, you jam the whole mechanism. So take your whole hot end apart. And then it's like 8 hours into it and you've printed nothing. Or you've caught it snapped and you come back to the printer, but you've got a Bowden, like an Ender 3. So snapped in the Bowden. What are you going to do? You retract your filament, then feed more filament behind the snapped filament to push it through. And you're like, oh, that's fine. My print will still work, except then your retractions don't work because you're pushing broken filament through the hot end. Or let's say you actually end up getting the print done and you take it off. And then you're like, okay, I'll just put the spool away and, get another spool. You take it off. And then the whole end of the spool blows up because it's all fragile. So I don't know to this day why this happens to some filaments, not others. It seems to be based on the temperature of the day, the humidity, the brand. But whatever it is, it drives me insane, and that's my rant.
I think the chat and I 100% agree with you.
You can't smile while ranting. I can't stop smiling regardless of what I'm doing. It genuinely annoys me.
That is one of the things that is funny. Like normally when people are ranting, they're like, "Listen, this is what," but you're just like, "This is so funny." It happens, I love it. But no, it's true. When I first started printing, I thought I heard it was because, like, for instance, you have a Bowden system, like an Ender 3, like you mentioned. I thought the PTFE tube broke it down and made it brittle if you left it in there too long. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. So I've heard that theory, but then, for example, on the Prusa, it would happen just above the hot end in midair sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had. Yeah, that's always fun. My favorite one, like you were saying, some of the new machines, like the what is this, CR10 Smart here, they have the filament runout sensor and then a little gap and then your extruder, right? And if it goes past the filament runout sensor, they have a little piece in there that plugs that gap so you can just push your line right through. It's a clear little plastic piece. So you can't actually grab the filament anymore because it's inside the plastic.
I've heard about this. I know people who have bought the machines. They're like, oh, it helps. And I'm like, what happens if you run out of filament? And they're like, oh.
You know what happens? You squeeze the extruder and you pull the Bowden tube off, and then you have to pull your filament out from the Bowden tube.
And every time you remove the Bowden tube, it damages the coupler and the point of contact in the Bowden.
Exactly, and that actually happened to our Poo Truck here. I ran out of our rock filament right at the top, so he has like a bald spot that's not filled in, and it just looks like infill. And it might be some of the reason why the really nice Pooch hair exists. But but that is exactly what's happening, and I haven't touched it yet because I came out this morning and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It was probably another 5 minutes, and it's stuck in there right now.
Yeah.
But let us know in the chat what you think. It was the 100% Angus Beef. If you get time, go back and pause the video there after the show and actually read. Caleb put together just a hilarious little bumper for you, and I wish. We were talking a little bit about before the show. Don't you wish you could do your videos like, Gordon Ramsay in the beginning?
That's the biggest thing. Like, I keep my channel PG, but Australians swear all the time. So I would easily be able to do a Gordon Ramsay style show.
Nice.
But YouTube wouldn't like it.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, thanks. Geary's on it with the button. He's just a little late sometimes. Sometimes you never know. You don't know what's going to be heard here. But we swapped over to this channel recently, and jokes on them because we're not monetized yet anyway. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So we went from my channel to the HotMakes channel, just so it has its own identity. And so that's the best part. But so what we got? We got a giveaway. We need to do a giveaway. So let me pull that up. $50 courtesy of Thangs. It's an Amazon gift card. There you go. We'll drop it in. There's our wheel. And I'm going to make that. Names. Yeah, the wheel of names. So you get to spin it. I'll let you spin it. And what we're going to do is I'll grab all the entries right now. So you're going to reach your, I believe would be your left hand into the screen when we're ready. Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll count you down. And when we're ready, it goes up from you. So I think, let's see, it would be, I believe your left hand. You can reach in.
What am I doing?
Did a better job of describing this?
Yes. We need a video clip of Pooch describing this because he did this. It was so good. How he's way better at this. So you reach in the screen, and then you'll spin it up.
All right. Give me a countdown.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Bah!
Look at that! There you go. Bert Steliak. Let us know. You have to be present to win. So let us know if you're there. Say hi, whatever you want in the chat. I guess, Angus, we could say that you had to reach in from down under to spin the wheel, right?
But then it would have been upside down, so I would have to spin it down.
Oh, that's on your side of the world. It's backwards, isn't it? Oh.
It's all right.
Oh, that's so good. Maybe I can change it for next week. I'm not sure. Let's see. Hey, he's here. Congratulations. Present nice. A $50 gift card courtesy of Thangs. We'll get with you, and we'll get everybody's out there after the show. I think I have some time after the show. I'll do that. If not tomorrow, I promise. Just so you know, if you win, it'll come from Amazon too. So watch for Amazon. It'll say it's from us. So if you want to make sure it's not fake. We're not YouTube. I'm not trying to tell you to delete your channel. So it's not fake. It'll say from HotMakes. So check that out, and it'll be $50 to whatever Amazon you're currently near. But well, it's been fun. It's about 7 o'clock. I can't believe we're on time today. This never happens. But I appreciate it, Angus, for jumping in and being a guest. What'd you think? I know it's a little bit different than being a guest. So.
No, it's fun. It's fun sort of having the banter. It's fun checking out the makes because I hadn't seen a lot of those before. So it's really cool to see what's actually been going on.
I find it a lot of times everybody, even in the chat, we're all busy. We don't see everything that's posted. And what's really cool is we can take an hour of time and bring someone in we wouldn't have seen or talked to or check out 13 different things that we probably never saw yet.
Yeah. I mean, this might be a rant for another time, but Twitter is very good at just hiding things. It's very hard to see what's going on because it just pushes just what it wants. So it's easy to miss that sort of stuff.
I 100% agree. Did you say another rant?
I've never seen such a embarrassment.
I'm just joking. I just had to. I had to because that just makes me laugh. I hadn't seen that before the show. Actually, Caleb, I reached out and I said, "Hey, Angus is on board for a rant. You got to do something." I didn't tell him what. I said, do whatever, and he's just a wizard at that stuff. So
good.
But everybody, thank you so much for coming. Angus, thank you so much for being our first guest co-host, and we will see you next week. Hang out right there. We'll be back with you, and everybody else. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next week, same time. It is 6 p.m. for us, 9 a.m. in the Australian Sydney time. I know there's a couple different time zones out there, so I'm glad we got that one right.
9's reasonable. 7 would have been a bit sorry.
Yeah,
I'll be a zombie.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here for 7 a.m. either. But for a lot of people, they stay up in Europe. It's probably 2, 3 in the morning or whatever, and they hang out and watch. And we definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody. But we'll see you next week. You guys have a great one, everybody. We'll see you later.
Catch you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.